Welcome to Unit 3. This is a whole new unit. We're getting into Chapter 6, and this begins a whole different unit on geometry and measurement. And that's quite a bit different than things that we've been doing. So you're going to see a major shift in some of the stuff that we're doing. For some of you guys, you're going to like that. Some of you guys might be a little bit tougher. It just kind of depends. I know people, that I've seen in the past kind of been both ways. So we're going to kind of look through some of these things and hopefully get you going on this. All right, so let's take a look at this first section. And I want you to do this little lab that they have here. So I want you to kind of do this. So in your notes, please do this. First of all, draw two different pairs of intersecting lines and label them 1, 2, 3, 4 like they did. In other words, I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to label it 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that. Do two different ones like that, and don't make them look exactly the same. And then what I want you to do after that is find and record the angle. So like the angle of this line right here. What's that angle? You'll need a protractor to do this. You'll need a straight edge and some colored pencils, or you can use your pencil just to shade in some of the stuff. And do this in your notes. So find all four angles, and it says color the angles that have the same measure. So if angles 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 are the same, color them the same color. And do that for both sets of lines that you have, and then also answer the question number 2, and I'll be back in just a little bit to talk about that. Okay, so let's take a look. What you should have found out was if you measured your angles. Let's take a look at this one down here that they have. And if I measure my angles, I've got this one here, and whatever this one was within, a very small amount, that should have been the same as this one right here. And number 1 should have been the same as number 3. And the same thing down here. 1 and 3 should have been the same, and 2 and 4 should have been the same. And hopefully you got the same things as what they got. So question 2 says, what is true about the sum of the measures of the angles sharing a side? So what they're saying is, what's the true about this angle here? And hopefully you figured out that the sum of that all the way was 180 degrees. Now I want to point out, if you notice on the left here, there are a lot of vocabulary words right here. That's the biggest thing that you're going to need to do in this section, and I would recommend that you write down every single one of these words and define them as you're going through your notes here, as we're going through things, because this will be the key part. This is the stuff you've got to remember when it comes to the test. It's easy when you can look it up on, you've got your notes in front of you, but when you don't have it there, it gets to be a little bit harder. So you need to make sure and start to learn these things. This will be our practice. All right, so let's start off with a few of the first definitions that we're talking about here. First of all, when we're talking about angles, they have some different names based on their measures. So if these angles are less than 90, so this angle is less than 90 degrees, that is known as an acute angle. And I just think, little babies are cute, they're small, so it is acute, but angle is really small, like that. I think most of you already know this one. You know right angles, so if they're 90 degrees, we have a right angle. That one's probably not too bad. If they are between 90 and 180, so, here's my 90, so it's got to be somewhere over there, but not beyond that line there, then that would be, this angle here is known as an obtuse angle. And if we have 180 degrees, a straight line basically, then we call that a straight angle. Okay? So yes, that's an angle. It's considered that, even though we think of it more as a line. But that would be a straight angle. All right, let's go on to these key concepts here. There's a lot of terms here, guys. And I would suggest that you stop the tape, write these things down, put them in your notes. These will be the tough part. Some of you will really find this hard if you're not good at memorizing names. And and definitions and stuff, because this is what we have. All right, so angle, or concept number one, vertical angles. These are opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. What they're saying is this: here's a line, and there's another line that runs through it. That is an intersecting line. And vertical angles are the ones opposite. So if this is the angle I'm talking about here, the opposite angle is over here. So if I have these numbered, like the book over here, 1 and 2, those are vertical angles. 3 is a vertical angle with 4. But notice that 1 and 3 are not vertical angles. So 1 and 2 are, 3 and 4 are. Notice here it says that they are, got that little equal sign with a little squiggly on top. Remember, that stands for congruent. Congruent is geometry's version of equals.